Because soil amending is so important, I've made a second video on soil amendments here. I want to show you something in my garden real quick. This is an old tomato plant from last year. And if I can get the roots out, I want to show you where most of the roots accumulate. Boy, those weeds really got a hold of me last year. You see that? See, most of the roots of a plant are right up near the surface. So that's why I say most of your amendments will be top dressed over here. We've got a pepper plant that's left over from last year. And of course, but you can see there that most of the roots are in the top part of the soil. Tap roots will go down deep, get to the roots. That's why you want to break up the soil down real deep. But for the most part, your feeding roots will be near the surface. I decided to do a second half of the soil amendment videos. I realize that some people won't have a rototiller and they might have to do this by hand. I've got my leaves on the soil and I'm adding some manure, and then I'm going to turn the soil, rake out that manure a little bit. Now there's two ways of turning the soil. One with just a shovel, big shovel, plunge it all the way into the ground, dig up that core and flip it over. Chop it up. If you find any big rocks like that, you can get them out of there. I'm not going to sift the soil, I'm not going to worry about that. But you can see that red clay in this soil. You can also use a garden tine. This has got 4 strong metal tines. If your soil is soft enough that you can plunge it into the ground and flip it over, you can use that. My soil is not that way. I have to use the shovel, or better yet, a rototiller. Here's another tool. It's a pick. If you need one of these, you need something to go with it, and that's a strong back. If your garden soil, or the soil in the area you're going to put your garden, is so hard that you need one of these, I would strongly suggest you rent a tiller. Okay, so you just kind of plug away. This isn't going to happen quick. If you've got someone to help you, even better. This is going to take several days doing this way to do a garden big enough to feed you and your family. But put your amendments on the top, your lime, your leaves, your manure, and then till it in. Basically what you're doing is you're tilling it in by hand. Take your shovel full, flip it over. Keep on moving down the line till you get to the end of the garden. After you get it turned over, go ahead and rake it out. This will help mix it in. You want to try to blend it as best you can. And this will give you the opportunity to get rid of some of these bigger rocks. After you get the whole thing raked out, go ahead and form an edge on it. Kind of raise that bed up a little bit. This will help it dry out if it's wet, get it ready for planting. Also help to warm up the soil, because if you're planting tomatoes, they just won't grow until the soil's warm. So there's part 2 of soil amendments, doing it by hand. If you can, get a tiller, get a big tiller. As you can see, this is going to be work. So get on out there It's still a little early to put some vegetables in. There are some that can go in this colder weather, but anything like a tomato, we're not going to do that yet because the frost will get them. However, I am going to start some plants by seed, and that's what I'm going to show you in the next video, how I start my plants from seed. So join me in the next video. Thanks for watching.